When you were 11 years old, you moved to Canada with your family.
We immigrated to Canada and we went from super, super hot to super, super cold.
Is pro wrestling a thing in Philippines?
Like, we loved wrestling so much. We just, scream at the TV, like cheering people on, booing people.
Did you apply there, or how did you get an email?
I just turned 18 years old, and I just wanted to prove to my parents that I'm not a child anymore.
And you literally land on your head.
I did.
And I thought the match is over.
I actually had a big goose egg on my head.
Okay.
Obviously mustered everything that I can to kick out before 3.
You have to go out of your comfort zone and you have to take the risk.
Not even a month into the training, I got an email from WWE.
Anytime you feel pressure that you have to play that stereotype gimmick,
They're really pushing, they're like, hey, you should be like a Filipino gig. And I go, well, like, what? Like, what does that even mean?
Give me some room. And I don't see how you can stop.
Shaw, double Shaw, Shaw, bitch! Another Dino! Here. Whoa! Spanish! Shaw, bitch! Oh, beautiful! Uh-oh. Oh, backbreaker! Call this shock!
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ। ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਰੈਸਲਰ ਭੁਪਿੰਦਰ ਗੁੱਜਰ। ਦੋਸਤੋ, ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਬ੍ਰੋਕਨ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਪੋਡਕਾਸਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਜੋ ਮੇਰੀ ਗੈਸਟ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਰੋਮਾਂਚਕ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। 11 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਉਮਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਫਿਲੀਪੀਨ ਤੋਂ ਮੂਵ ਕਰਕੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਆਏ। ਇੱਥੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਰੈਸਲਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਿੰਗ ਪੂਰੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਯੂਕੇ ਚਲੇ ਗਏ। ਉੱਥੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਟਾਈਟਲ ਵਿਨ ਕੀਤੇ, ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਆ ਗਏ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ TNA ਰੈਸਲਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ 3 ਸਾਲ ਕੰਮ ਕੀਤਾ। ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਮੇਪਲ ਲੀਫ ਪ੍ਰੋ ਰੈਸਲਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਮੇਪਲ ਲੀਫ ਪ੍ਰੋ ਰੈਸਲਿੰਗ ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨ ਵੂਮਨ ਚੈਂਪੀਅਨ ਵੀ ਨੇ। ਇਹ ਕਾਫੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਮੇਂ ਵੇਸਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ, ਆਪਾਂ ਸਿੱਧੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਦ ਮੋਸਟ ਸਟਨਿੰਗ, ਬਿਊਟੀਫੁਲ, quintessential diva, Gisele Shaw. Gisele, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. I mean, I didn't really know what was going on, or like I don't really understand, like the whole entire thing. I kind of got a little bit, of it. So I don't know, maybe I speak your language.
No, I was just talking about you, how when you moved and about your struggle. Believe me, I was just talking good things about you.
Oh, okay.
And first, I want to ask you, I was just doing some research on you. And when you were 11 years old, you moved to Canada with your family. And when you moved here, definitely a new country. I personally moved here. So I want to know, how was your experience moving here when you were super young?
It was so crazy. Like my family just uprooted the whole entire family from the Philippines, which is super, super hot. It's, it's such a lovely country. I'm a tropical, girl.
Okay.
I love the heat. But then we immigrated to Canada all the way to Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. And it's just like the coldest place on earth. So we went from super, super hot to super, super cold.
Right.
But you know what? I think it was amazing. I'm really happy that my family did that for me and my sisters. I think that, my dad and my mom really set us up for success in Canada. So I'll forever be grateful.
Yeah. And I want to ask you about pro wrestling. Is that pro wrestling a thing in Philippines?
Oh yeah, it's huge. So I always tell this story that my grandmother and I actually, like, we loved wrestling so much. Like, the whole entire family did. But it was like the connection for me and my grandmother. So that whenever I went to school, away from the city, in the province, or in the country,
Okay.
So I'd go study, go to school, whatever, and then on the weekends I would come to the city where my grandmother was. And then she'd be like, oh my God, did you see, this? And I'm like, no, I didn't. And we just, scream at the TV, like cheering people on, booing people. And it was such a cool thing. And, I think that it is huge in the Philippines, but I think it was really big in my family.
Yeah, this is so funny. I was watching one of your interview and you talk about your grandmother. That's instantly reminded me of my grandfather, because he was the first person in my family actually who used to watch wrestling. Same story as you. like talking to me,
Yeah.
you know what happened on this weekend? And I was like, that builds a great connection. I just instantly kind of relate to your story.
Yeah.
And that's built a special connection with your grandparents, right?
So yeah, of course, definitely. You know, I think that you do, you know, like with you, I'm not really quite sure, but like with me, now that I'm wrestling, I'm kind of like, man, like I hope, you know, like my grandmother's watching and she's like, right on. Because my family definitely says that she's like my number one fan. So she's definitely hopefully looking down from heaven and being like, you go, girl.
100%. She is definitely proud of you. And so you moved in Canada and you finished your high school and then you went to in my country called air hostess, flight
Yes,
attendant.
the flight
The
attendant.
flight attendant
Yes.
job. How did you get into that?
Well, it was so crazy because I just turned 18 years old. And, you know, like in my culture, it's like when you're 18, it's like, you know, get out of the house. You're like an adult. Well, like you're an adult when you're 12, they say. So when you're 18, you're like, you know, like really adult. But yeah, you know, I just wanted to prove to my parents that like I'm not a child anymore. I was actually working at Walmart.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was your first job?
Well, yeah, I was working there at Walmart. That wasn't my first job. But at the time, I was working there as a customer service manager.
Wow.
And it was, yeah. And then this lady came up to me and she's like, just loved my aura, you know. And she's like, hey, I think you'd be a really good fit working at the airport. And I was like, working at the airport for like what? And then she's like, well, like a customer service agent.
Right.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
agent.
yeah.
So I worked
Behind the desk
Yes.
jobs where you
yeah.
can.
So I worked there for like 3 months, and it was just like I learned so fast. I was the youngest actually hired at that time by the company.
Wow.
I know. So they were like, "We're taking a chance on you. Don't f it up." You know, because like you're 18. You know, like you're
Super young, actually.
yeah, you're so young. So and it's such a really mature job, right? So yeah, I was like, okay, cool. I worked there for 3 months. And then, you know, I was like training people already. Like, it was really cool. And then it's like, you know, I always love how the universe gives you a sign.
Right.
And I got, you know, it's like I was like working somewhere, or no, I was in Inuvik. It's like even higher up north.
Okay.
Yes, from where I lived. And then, yeah, I got this fax. Fax? Do you know what a fax is?
I know fax.
Okay. I was like, I don't want to say my age, but you know, I got this fax, and it's just like a company memo that they're hiring flight attendants in-house first before they put it out in the public. So I was like, oh man, I'm like, I think this is a sign. I'm like, I really need to get out. You know, like I love Yellowknife, but I really feel like I need to like spread my wings. You know, learn experience. Find the adventure that you should be finding when you're young, you know?
And I think that's the best job. You can travel all over.
Yes, you know, and it's like, exactly. It's like you can travel on someone else's dime, but then also like I love customer service and like making people happy.
Right.
So I was like, I think this is the job for me. So yeah, I applied for it and
And
they
right
were
away
like-
you got it.
yeah, I got it and never even told my mom that the position that I applied for meant that I had to move out of Yellowknife. Like they thought I was coming back to Yellowknife, and that's
Okay.
where the base was. But
Oh.
I never told them until I finished training, because then at least I can be like, too late.
I'm ready to fly.
Yeah, exactly. But
And how long you did that job for?
I did that for 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And
it was really cool. It was intense. You know, you're pretty much just like everything when you're up there. Like you're a flight attendant, you're like a nurse, you're a firefighter if something should happen, you know, like you're all of these things up there, and you're responsible for so many people. So I took that job pretty seriously.
yeah. And now the job you are in, again, traveling job.
Traveling job.
That's a great coincidence.
Making people happy.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's so cool. It's like flight attending and wrestling has brought me to so many places that I never really thought that I would end up. But yeah, it's just, you know, I've traveled so many, just beautiful countries and meeting new people and like
Right.
learning about their culture and all that stuff. And I'm just so grateful about that.
Right. When you were growing up, have you ever wanted to be a pro wrestler?
I did. Yeah,
Okay.
I've always wanted to be a pro wrestler. You know, like I think my grandmother and my parents, they always told me, like, do you know Ultimate Warrior?
Yep.
Yeah, and how he like just ran and all that stuff, like shook the ropes.
Right.
That was me as a child.
Okay.
You know, yeah, I would just run around and just like pretend. So I thought that was like super cool. I loved it. I loved the characters, loved the entrance, loved the production, you know, behind it. I loved how like, you know, their storytelling. And it's just the characters. You know, they're like bigger than life.
Right.
Yeah.
So you were traveling for 3 years, and I bet crazy busy schedule. How did professional wrestling came into your mind? I mean, getting into that school and getting the training.
So again, the universe just, you know, sometimes has a plan for you and you just kind of have like hop onto that ride and then take that adventure. Because I went to a gym, you know, and there's like a couple guys that came up to me and then they're like, hey, how's it going? Just like, you know, I'm like, oh yeah, here we go, you know, at the gym, like these guys. But
Hitting on you.
oh yeah, no. I'm like, okay, guys. But they're like, hey, would you like to come to a wrestling show? I go, a wrestling show? Like, what kind of wrestling are we talking about? You're talking about like Olympic wrestling, which I did for like
You did?
I did a few months in high
Wow.
school. And then I was like, I can't do it. I hate it.
That's hard though.
I hated it just because I wanted to be a professional wrestler.
Is it
So-
big in your country, like back home, Philippines, amateur wrestling?
Amateur wrestling?
Yeah.
I don't really know. I think we're really big in boxing.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, and like martial arts and all that stuff. But I'm just not sure, like wrestling, like amateur wrestling, if it's that
Okay.
big.
It's not that thing.
Yeah, I haven't really checked out the Summer Olympics.
Okay.
But, but yeah. So I was just at the gym, and these guys were like, you know, come to a show, whatever. And I was like, oh god, okay, cool. Like, I'll check it out. Went.
Okay.
My first indie show ever. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, I love this so much, you know? I told the promoter after, I was like, hi there, you know, my name's Gisele. I really want to be a wrestler. I want to be the next Trish Stratus.
Wow.
And then he's like, okay. Yeah. Go get trained. So I did. And, you know, and I never looked back. And it's just been so cool.
You're on your way, don't worry. You're doing great in professional wrestling.
Thanks.
And then, where did you train? Which was your first school?
So when the promoter told me to go get trained and all that stuff, I did my research. I wanted to go to the best school. And where I was, you know, Landstorm was the
One
best.
of the best.
Storm Wrestling Academy was the best. So I had to move to Calgary to go. It was like 3 months.
Okay.
And we trained like Monday to Friday.
But you were still in this job, or you quit?
No, I quit.
So you quit right
I
away
quit my
for
job.
pro wrestling
I
training?
was like, yeah, like I saved up my money. I was like, this is what I meant to do. And then I moved, and it was pretty cool. And I just dived in.
You got guts,
Dove
girl.
in, dived in.
Yeah. Whenever you feel it's not the time, that's the time to jump in. So,
I think so. Like, I really do think that, you know, not a lot of people these days take risks with themselves. And I think that's so important because, like, how are you going to achieve things in your life if you don't take risks? Like, you know, and mind you, like, we do need to be, also put that in the back of our heads that, like, the bigger the chances, the bigger the risk, but then also the bigger the rewards.
Yep.
So, like, it's not going to be good all the time. There's always going to be bad, but you just have to keep betting on yourself.
Exactly. Risk is everything in your life. Otherwise, you are just like a still water. And
Exactly.
You're not going to move anywhere. You know? If you want to move in your life, you have to go out of your comfort zone and you have to take the risk.
Exactly.
And then you trained there for how many months? 3 months?
Yes. She was 3 months. And it was like pretty cool because at that time, you know, I think I was like not even a month into the training. I got an email from WWE.
That's
then,
cool.
Yeah. And then they're like, hey, you know, we'd love to invite you for a tryout. So I was like, oh shoot. So we had to like keep it like hush hush between Lance and myself. So
Did you apply it there, or how did you get an email? Like,
through Lance.
okay,
Yeah. So yeah, and then they emailed me, and I was just like, okay, cool, like sounds good. So like when I was training to learn my craft for 3 months, I was also like preparing myself for a tryout that
Okay.
no one knew in my class. And like in the back of my head, I was just like, you gotta work twice as hard because I was the only female in that class. But then I had to even work harder because I had a tryout, that I need to go do. And yeah, it was so intense, like nutrition wise. I invested in myself. Like, I got a trainer, I got a nutritionist, I got Lance with me. Like it was a lot. It was so crazy, and it was such a whirlwind.
And over the top of all that, the pressure.
The pressure.
I can't even imagine like just a month in
A month
professional
in,
wrestling,
yeah, like
and going for a WWE tryout. That's big.
yeah. So yeah, it was crazy because we finished, the training. Everyone went home to wherever they lived. I lived in Calgary, so like Lance took the extra time to be like, hey, like let's train more. So I got the extra reps after. So I was really, I'm thankful forever.
Yeah, Lance Storm is the best. Like, and
He's so good. Like his mind for wrestling is just it's so crazy. Like he just understands like the things that like sometimes people don't understand, and then he'll explain it to you, and you go, all right, like that makes sense.
he's the vet. And so you did your tryout with WWE. How was that experience?
It was intense. I didn't really know, what to expect from it. But there was a lot of indie, like big names at my tryout. Like Athena, Jessica Havoc was there. Tommaso Ciampa. My God, like the list went on, and I was just like,
A new kid.
I was like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like I didn't even know anything about like dirt sheets. I
Right.
didn't know anything about
Psychology
like the
of wrestling.
indies or something. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, although it's college, I learned that, training.
Yeah.
But I was so green. I was
Exactly.
so new
So new.
to the industry. I don't know what was going on. I went there and I crushed it, by the way. But yeah, and I think that it just wasn't my time. And that's okay, because it really made me like I got a yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a yes. But things change, and that's okay. You know what I mean?
Things happen for a reason.
I was able to. The feedback I was told was that, we were gonna take you in, but because you're so new, just go get more experience.
So you finished your tryout and you got yes, but they told you to go out and have more experience. What you did next?
Yeah, so when I got my yes, obviously I was like so happy, super new to this industry, and then I got hired, by the place that I wanted to go to, my dream job as a kid. And then obviously getting that, rescind offer, it was like heartbreaking, and at the time I was just like, okay, like what do I do? This is another hurdle in my life. So I go, let's just regroup. Let me think about what I'm going to do next. So I turned their feedback into a positive. They told me, you need to go get more experience. I was like, okay, cool. So, I reached out and I was like, where can I get experience? Japan. I've always wanted to go to Japan, and yeah, I made some, I could message people. I was a go-getter, and like I wanted to prove to them that if you give me a hurdle, I'm gonna kick that barrier down and I'm gonna achieve it. So yeah, it was cool. I went my first tour to Japan for 3 months.
Okay. Which year we are talking about?
The same year that I got when was
Tryout?
that? Yeah, the same year that I got my tryout. So after that, so I think You know what? 2015 to 2016, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I never really looked back. I was like, fine. You want me to go get more experience? I'll go get more experience.
Japan's training is pretty tough.
Yes.
How was your experience over there?
It was really crazy. I loved it. The culture, the
Okay.
people, it's so clean. It's just so nice. Like they're so high tech and so advanced. Like they live in like a different year that
Okay.
we live in. The people are just incredible. I love food so much, and yeah, the food there is incredible.
Oh,
Yeah.
food, and that food is like, I heard a lot of good story about
Yes.
Japan and the food and the training overall. Like it's a great experience. People say you need to visit once
Yes.
in your lifetime.
And like, do you like sushi?
I love sushi.
Yeah. So sushi in Japan is like, it just tastes like butter. Like it just melts in your mouth. Like, that's how good it is.
Right.
And then the training obviously was super, super hard as well. The women, I felt like they hit harder.
Okay.
Very strong style. So I was like, oh shoot, like okay, cool. It was a different world, and yeah, I enjoyed every trip that I've made to Japan.
And you spent 3 months there, came back to Canada?
Came back to Canada, worked more in the indies. I don't like I went back to Japan. I just don't even remember the years because it's like I just felt like I've been traveling.
Okay.
But also, one of the places that I thought where I could get a lot of experience was in the UK. So I went to the UK. I, packed my bags, left the country,
Right
took a
away.
chance.
Yeah, that's risky. But I think that's easy for you because you were traveling from your younger age. You moved from Philippines and then went to Japan, and you were traveling for your flight attendant job.
Yeah.
So I think that was easy for you.
Yeah, I think that, the transition from being a flight attendant to a professional wrestler was kind of easy. Like I'm used to the lifestyle of, traveling all the time, being at airports, being, in a car, being in hotels,
Staying
like
away from your family.
exactly. It's like I love my family, obviously, but I think that with that job, it's like I was trained to like miss them, but like not really miss them in a way that's part of my job.
Right. And I remember I met you in 2020, if I'm not wrong. You came back from UK. Oh,
2021, I think. No?
2021?
Yeah.
Okay. But actually, I want to ask you about the UK part because you won your first championship over there,
I did my first major championship.
right?
It was Rev Pro.
Rev Pro.
Yeah. So, it was pretty cool because, somebody, from Canada has never won the championship, at the time.
Okay.
So it was like a really big deal. And then, it's like I just hit my stride, and it was pretty cool. I just loved it there. I love the people. I love the UK. It means it's like there's a special place in my heart for the UK and the fans. It's just so cool. And I'm so fortunate to also win the Progress World Women's, Championship, because as somebody who doesn't live there, like somebody who's like an international talent, to win the top 2, like highest championship in the UK, and to be trusted with that, like I thought that was really, really cool, and that's never been done by anybody.
Oh, that was first time in history.
No international person has held that title, like each first and foremost, and then like sorry, I might be lying, but at the same time.
Okay.
To hold it at the same time, it's never been done before by international talent. So
kudos to you.
Thank you.
Quintessential diva.
So quintessential, that's all I do. Whatever.
Oh yeah. I want to talk about your gimmick, quintessential diva. How did you came up with gimmick? Cause what happened when you a foreigner to a country, they want you to play your stereotype gimmick.
Yeah.
Happened with me a lot when I moved here first, but now I was like, no, I want to do what I like to do. How did you came up with that gimmick? Anytime you feel any pressure that you have to play that stereotype gimmick to be successful?
Yeah, it was really weird because when I did first start,
Mhm.
they're really pushing, they're like, hey, you should be like a Filipino gimmick. And I go, well, like what? Like what does that even mean? They go, oh, well, like, you should like it'd be so cool if you spoke with an accent. And I'm like, I lived here majority of my life in
Right.
Canada. Like, what do you mean I need to speak with an accent? Like, it's kind of hard for me to even speak with a Filipino accent.
Exactly.
But yeah, it was like really weird. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm like, do I go, hey, I think you should have a white like gimmick. Like,
Yeah.
what's a white gimmick? You know what I mean? Like, it's just so bizarre to even like me to say that. I'm like, that sounds so weird. So like, yeah, it is kind of weird how people want you to portray, like, oh, like you're from the Philippines, so yeah, you should be a Filipino character. Or you're from India, like you should have an Indian
Yeah.
character.
Actually, people told me to wear Indian, the dress, the gown,
Yes.
which we never wear actually on a regular days. That's we wear on marriages. It's called sherwani, and people are like, you need to wear that. I was like, nah, that's not my style. I wore that for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then I was like, I totally changed my gimmick. But back to you, like, so how did you came up with quintessential diva?
So quintessential diva. I've always, I mean, being a diva, it's just a lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like, but quintessential means, like an overall, just like the whole package. You can do everything, So I thought about it and I'm like, I want to be somebody who can wrestle anybody. So like, if they were like a high flyer, if they were a submissionist, if they were a technical wrestler, if they were like super fast. Like I wanted to embody all of that. So that like when I'm in the ring with a different opponent, it's like I'm able to adjust the way I wrestle. Because if they fight and they're like a strong, power lifter or something or whatever, like why would I want to you know what I mean? Like
Right.
outmatch them.
Exactly.
Maybe I can't. I'm not really quite sure. But I can outsmart them, and do other things. So that's how the quintessential diva character came.
That really suits you.
Thank you.
And 2021, you signed your first big contract with TNA. And you had so many matches, big matches. Is there any match you feel who changed the life? I mean, the game for you? You know, when you feel like you had a match and you were suddenly like, damn, I'm ready to move to the next level.
Yeah, it was like kind of weird at first because, I think that the character quintessential diva, like they took that really too serious in a way that they're like, oh, well, if you're a quintessential diva, then that means you're not a badass. But I was like, but I thought I wrestled like a badass. You know what I mean? So like that, they were like, oh, you can't be like a badass because you're a diva. So whatever, you know what I mean? I still wrestle like a badass anyway. And the match that really turned it around for me was with Jordan Grace. In Las Vegas, the match that really turned it around for me was with Jordan Grace. In Las Vegas, and yeah, I think that's when people were like, oh shoot, like she can go. And, like maybe we should take her a little bit more seriously.
Were you nervous before that match? And Jordan
It
Grace.
was the main event.
Yeah.
And we didn't even know. And we were just like, oh, okay, cool. Like it was, and there's that extra pressure that you need to do even like better.
Yeah. You want people to leave the venue with good memories, with actually to think about the product, the company.
Yeah.
So how did you prepare yourself?
Well, I get super nervous with every match, I think. But I think it just means like I care. I really want to make sure that everybody has a great time and, that they feel the emotions that I want them to feel and they understand the story that I'm telling. So it's a lot of pressure. But also like when you go out there, as soon as your music hits, it's like all the pressure just like goes away. And then it's like you're there, and like the spotlight. I just love it. Like it's just so cool, you know, and it's like it's my dream job. You know, like not everyone can go home and be like, man, like I really loved my job today. You know, like for me,
Right.
I'm super blessed to be able to say that.
Mhm.
And yeah, I don't think there's really any way to like prepare mentally
Mhm.
for that, but I do prepare, like, you know, make sure that my nutrition's right,
Mhm.
make sure that I'm going to the gym all the time, make sure that, you know, I'm training constantly, I'm going to the dojo, you know, with you and other people, and make sure that I'm honing my skills all the time.
You are.
Because, you know, there's like somebody else that there's going to be younger, there's going to be faster, you know, who's more athletic than you, but just because they're more athletic doesn't mean that they can outwork you.
I believe you, and you know what? I see you like working your ass off for whatever sport you are in right now.
Mm.
But you are too serious about your diet, your training.
Yeah.
You're too disciplined. Have you ever had a cheat meal recently?
I did. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I had a cheat meal last night actually. I went out. So it was pretty cool. I loved it. And yeah, I think it's just finding the balance now
Mm-hmm.
of like I love training, but I also love food. And I
Okay.
feel like it's important to remember that because I've been where it's like super, super strict. Like I would take my meals to a restaurant and be like, I'm on meal prep. Can I please eat this? Like, you know, all my friends eat their food. And they're like, oh, well, not really, but I guess. And I'm like, okay, cool. Or if I have to eat that in my car, I'll eat it. But I was so unhappy. You know, like I looked like super good in my opinion, but like I was super unhappy as well. So I think now, I think I'm just finding the balance of being able to go have a cheat meal and then just like,
I do the
but I feel
same
like you're being the
sometimes.
one like taking it so seriously because between you and me, like you have like the abs right
Right,
now.
right now, I'm super serious about my diet,
Yeah.
and it's hard. Everywhere you go, you have to prepare your meals.
Yes.
You have to pack your tiffins, and I think, but everything paid off at the end of the day. And the position we are in, and the way we wanna go, need all those sacrifices. You
Of
need to
course.
look different, right?
Exactly. Like you could literally do your laundry with your abs.
Thank you so much. And you worked with TNA for 3 years. What's your best memory from those 3 years? Like you can think about three TNA and that pop in your mind.
You know what? I think the best memory or takeaway, I guess, from the 3 years at TNA is it was my first contract that I've ever signed. You know, I didn't really know like what to expect. You know, I didn't know how to deal with having that stage, that you know, a contract like that, or having to deal with people, having to deal with, you know, the ups and downs that come along with it. So I think my takeaway is like the learning curve and all, yeah, like everything that I just learned from that. And you know, I think that you accept the good ones just as much as you accept the bad ones, because if you don't, then you don't really learn a lesson. You know what I mean? Like I think that you can learn from anything, whether it's good or bad.
I'm pretty sure you have seen a lot of stuff in your life and you have overcome a lot of your fears. What was your last time when you feel low and when you feel like, you know, could be a wrestling, could be your personal life, like when you feel like, why I'm doing this, why I'm in this business.
Yeah, I think definitely, you know, not knowing what the future holds. I think that's what scares me a little, you know, and kind of makes me a bit like, I'm not really quite sure because it's just the uncertainty of it. But also, I think, like I said, you can learn from anything. And I think embracing that and learning from that, that like it's totally okay. You know, like I don't need to be like, sometimes like when you have goals and then you're like, I need to be there, I need to be there. And then I forget that there's like this journey that maybe I need to learn something from so that I can then apply that to whatever I need to be doing in the future. I think that's what people miss sometimes, and I think that's what I'm learning. So you know, sometimes when I do get low, I just think about that's not my final destination. It's just a redirection.
Right. Your first match on MLP against Athena, because you told earlier that you and Athena were in a tryout for WWE together. How did you feel facing her on a big stage like MLP?
So crazy because she and I were roommates for a tryout.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, I was like, oh wow, like this is so cool, you know, and then she got signed. And then obviously she couldn't do indies anymore. And that was the first time that I've ever wrestled her. And it was just like, okay, cool. I know we meshed well when we were in our tryout. We meshed well as roommates. Let's see if we mesh well in the ring. And yeah, like she's so cool. She's like a badass, and she can bring it, man. Like she really pushed me to my limit, and I was like, okay, cool. Like have at it, because it's those things that make you better. You know, like I didn't walk away with the ROH Women's World Championship,
But you had a great match.
but a great match, and I walked away with a lot of experience and great experience.
Right. And you took that experience, put in a match against with Kylie Ray, and you won the championship.
Yeah.
I watched that match, and at one point in time, you wanted to give her tombstone pile driver,
Yeah.
but then she reversed it, and then you literally land on your head.
I did.
And I thought the match is over. What happened? How did you feel after the match?
I think when I actually hit the mat, I actually had a big goose egg on my head.
Okay.
Yeah, like I actually hit that the mat super hard. I was like, all right, cool, but obviously mustered everything that I can to kick out before 3. And you know, I think that with MLP, it is a platform where the best in Canada are featured. You know, it's an opportunity for the best in Canada to go against with the best in the world. So I think that, you know, you're in my playground, and you might hit harder, but I will hit the hardest. You know, and I will always find everything in my power to make sure that I leave out of there like still champion. You know, like there's no days off when you're champion.
What do you call your finisher? The knee?
Denouement.
Denouement.
Yeah, it's French.
French.
Yeah,
Denouement.
denouement.
That's vicious.
Do you know what that means?
Not actually.
So it's like the final act. So it's kind of like, you know, when you're in a show, it's the denouement. It's the final act.
Okay.
That's it.
That's a French word.
It's a French word.
Okay. How did you come up with that finisher?
I didn't. It was actually Matthew Raywalt.
Okay.
And he was like, hey, I think you should call your finish the denouement. And I was like, what's the denouement? And he was explaining it to me, and I was like, this is fantastic. I was like, yeah. So credit to Tom, Tom Hannafin too. Yeah. So both of them, Matthew Raywalt and Tom Hannafin, credit.
Okay. And you do one another combo. Backbreaker on the neck and then a face.
The shock and awe.
The shock and awe.
Yes.
I'm bad with names.
You know who came up with that?
No.
Matthew Raywalt.
Okay. So Matthew really
I should
helped.
just hire him.
Matthew really helped you with the names
With
and
names,
the moves.
yeah. He's so good with coming up with the names for the moves. So what I'll do is maybe I'll just invite him to the dojo, do the moves, and be like, what do you want to call that? And he'll come up with like a super cool name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you do any TV shows in your life, or have you been a part of any shows?
Yeah. So I actually did the Amazing Race Canada.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was really, really cool.
What's about the show? I have no clue. Sorry, I don't.
The
watch
Amazing Race
that.
Canada?
I don't watch that.
It's huge.
I know, but you know, I
So-
don't watch that. Sorry, my bad.
No, it's okay. So it's like there's I think like 11 teams, 10 teams, 11 teams or something, and you know you race and you do challenges, you do all this stuff, and you travel all over Canada. I think like the original Amazing Race, like they travel over the world, which is super, super cool. But the Canadian one, I think that they want to feature, you know, the beauty of Canada and all that stuff, which, you know, it's their show, and I think, you know, if the feature it the way how you want to feature it.
What's the best way to get into the show? I'm ready to go in any show. Give me a tip
You
or
know
two.
what? I think that was through Gail Kim. You
Okay.
know, yeah. So she needed a partner, and she was like, "Hey, yeah, like, would you like to do it?" And I've always wanted to do that show, so
Mhm.
we did it, and it was fun. You know, it was an experience.
By the way, I saw the vignette. I just remember you and Gail came.
Hmm.
What was that about? You guys
Which
going
one?
the cabin.
Oh, the
One,
cabin.
the cabin, yeah.
Yeah, I think because so people didn't know this because they didn't want to say anything about it online.
Hmm.
But after my match with Jordan Grace and No Surrender,
Okay.
I actually I had a microfracture on my ankle.
Oh,
Yeah,
what happened?
so I was out for like a few months.
Yeah, I know. Like, but how
I
did you
was
hurt?
doing my move in the top, and then, you know, it was not a good
You
time.
landed.
I landed on it weird, and then, you know, I sprained it in
Mhm.
a way and had a microfracture. I was out for a few months.
Mhm.
So then they were thinking of a way to bring me back. But yeah, like they decided to not announce it or something. So it just seemed like I just went away for a little bit. And then, yeah, so they had the idea of coming back where, you know, I was in a retreat thing or something or whatever.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, cool. You know, that's how I spend my quintessential life is I just go to retreats.
Yeah, that looked like you and Gail was going to work together. Was it that
Yeah,
a
so I
thing?
think so that was the original plan actually.
Okay.
So Gail and I were actually going to be tag teams,
Mhm.
a tag team, and I thought, yeah, I thought that would have been super super amazing and cool, obviously. But in wrestling, you know, it's never a certainty until you're walking out of there and doing
Mhm.
what you're supposed to.
Yeah, it's always happens. The thing always happen which you are not even thinking about. It's wrestling changing every day, every minute.
Yeah.
What's your plan for next 2 years? I know you were a champion. You already said that's a responsibility, but what's the long-term goal for Gisele Shaw?
You know what? I really think that I'm just gonna keep pushing. I
Hmm.
don't like. I love to see myself in places,
Mhm.
um, you know, like WWE or AEW. But I really think also that I don't want to be so focused on it that I don't really enjoy like
Mhm.
the present.
Mhm.
You know, like I've done that already where I'm like super hyper focused on that
Mhm.
and I'm just like not happy and I'm forgetting the now.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing me, I think, and um, keep smashing it.
Mhm.
You know, I love having challenges and taking on challenges. Like the harder they are, the better for me. I love proving to people that, you know, that I can do it.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, and if WWE or AEW comes,
Mhm.
then cool, you know. But I'm not gonna think about that.
Yeah, just go slow and eventually that's
Hmm.
gonna fall into place.
Exactly.
You have been to UK,
Hmm.
Japan, um, you work in States for 3 years, now
Hmm.
Canada. Where do you want to go next and wrestle? What's your dream destination for wrestling?
Ooh, you know, I'd love to go back to Japan
Okay.
because it's really fun there.
Mhm.
Obviously the UK, Ireland. I want to go back to Ireland.
Mhm.
I was there like a couple times,
Mhm.
and the fans there are just incredible. Like,
Mm.
you know, when they sing your name,
Mhm.
you're just like, wow, like I think I've made it. You know?
Yeah, and professional wrestling is growing in India, and we have new company called WXM,
Mm-hmm.
and they had great show. Tony was a part of that show. Jinder was a part of that show,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna talk to the guy. And next time, me and you are going together over there.
that'd be so cool. I've
Yeah,
never been, and that'd be amazing.
yeah, you're gonna
Bucket list.
you're gonna love it because people are really crazy about pro wrestling. Through you, I want you to send a message to our audience,
Mm-hmm.
especially from people from India.
Yeah.
Tell them, please support your athletes.
Yes. You know what? Like I think that it's so important to be supporting your athletes.
Mhm.
Um, to push them and make sure that they, achieve their goals. Being an athlete it's difficult. There's so many things that you need to invest in, especially like in an indie level, for example. And I mean, you're not making a ton of money, and then you have so many expenses, like your gym, your training, your food, your whatever, your gear.
Right.
So I think that it's so important, and I think to just keep going.
Right. And I see a lot of people, they can support whoever they want, they can do whatever they want, that's their personal preferences. But I think in any country, they need to support their athletes because they are the real heroes. They are working hard. So that's my main goal, is to, through this podcast, talk to people and aware them about the struggle behind professional wrestling or struggle behind any other sports.
Yeah, I think it's definitely it's very difficult to make it, in for example, professional wrestling or any sport. There's a lot of talented people out there, and the success of making it is so minuscule that, yeah. And I think that, for example, like for us, international athletes, I think that we carry so much pride with our country,
Right.
and we want to represent them as best as we can. So yeah, I think that supporting your own
Athletes.
and
Yeah.
it's so important.
Yeah. And especially if you talk about India, it's a big country. Even if 10% people start supporting the athletes,
It's huge.
it's huge.
Yeah.
By the way, Gisele, before I let you go, any message you want to pass to the audience or people, whoever watching you?
Yes, thank you so much for the support. I think that this has been such a crazy ride. It's been 10 years of insanity, but it feels like it's been like 5 minutes. And I do appreciate, everybody who's been there, like through the lows, through the highs, through being signed, through leaving, and waiting for what the next adventure is. So I thank you for that, and let's keep going.
Yeah. And Gisele, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for your timing and sharing your experience with us. And we definitely want to bring you back. And we'll talk more about maybe about your diet, about your training, about your wrestling psychology, wrestling matches. And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So guys, ਇਹ ਸੀ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਗੈਸਟ, the quintessential diva Gisele Shaw. I hope ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵਧੀਆ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਕੇ। ਐਂਡ ਅਗਲੇ ਹਫਤੇ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਨਵੇਂ ਪੋਡਕਾਸਟ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਨਵੇਂ ਗੈਸਟ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ। ਉਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਆਪਦਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਰੱਖਿਓ, ਆਪਦੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਦਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਰੱਖਿਓ। ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਹੈ। ਉਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਲਈ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ। ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ।
And we're out.